Hi friends, welcome back to the channel where we talk all things Longmont and surrounding areas, and today we are going to talk about Colorado kind of as a whole. We are talking about buying land in Colorado, and I will cover the kind of difficulties that may come up when doing that in the different areas of Colorado. Before I do that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It keeps me motivated to make videos, otherwise I feel like I am just talking into this camera for nothing. So hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions about buying land or a house in Colorado, contact me at the details below. I have people text, email, call me all the time from these videos. So go ahead and do that. Now, let's talk about buying land in Colorado. So we're going to go over some of the things that you definitely need to know before you buy land. Number one is all about the money. So it can be really hard to get a land build package to start with. You have to have 20% down, and most of the time the credit union or whoever will loan you the money will give you a certain period that you have to have that house built on by. And that's because the land is not worth very much to them if they have to go and resell it because you foreclose on the loan. It's worth more to them if they have a house on it. So they're going to have a specific time specification of when you need to build the house by. And don't forget, there may be, due to grading, especially up in the mountains, you'll find this where there's no flat land on the block. Then you may have trouble actually being able to build on that land. So they are going to want soil tests and all kinds of things that go on during that loan period. If you are hoping to buy land and then just have it and then build on it in 4 or 5 years, you are going to have all of the money. You will not be able to get a loan for that. You're going to have the full amount of money, and that can mean $300,000 plus here in Colorado, depending on where you are buying the land. There are some areas that are much more sparse and homestead type areas, and land is much cheaper in those areas, but you aren't going to have much else happening there. So keep that in mind. Money is a thing when you are buying land. If you are hoping to buy land and build a tiny house or bring a tiny house, you'll have to check with the town that you are building in, because they all have different rules in regards to whether you can build tiny houses or not on land. So there is a lot to know before you go ahead and make this commitment. Number 2 is all about poop, where the poop goes. So if you are building in the mountains, you are going to likely have a septic tank that is going to have to be pumped out regularly. There are companies all over, especially up in the mountains, that do that. If you go to sell the house, you have to have it pumped and checked and make sure it's working. With that septic tank, you have a leach field. So you can read up all about leach fields. Usually they last quite a while. Probably if you're going to, not stay in the house forever, then you won't have to deal with replacing one. However, if you do stay in the house forever, or 10 to 20 years, and then you go to sell, that leach field may need to be moved elsewhere. Not the most fun topic or thing to talk about. This can happen in land east of Denver, north of Denver. This can happen on land where sewer is not close and not easy to connect as well. Then you might have to go with the poop pit. Just so you know that, because a lot of times I have people come, want to buy land in the mountains. I get it. They want to live in the mountains with the beautiful trees, and they want, no one around them, and they want privacy. But then when we start talking about these ins and outs, it doesn't sound so enjoyable. Another thing to know if you're going to build in the mountains specifically is snow. You need to think about snow, because they get a lot more up there than they do here on the plains of Denver. Some neighborhoods don't have proper paved roads, so if you just buy a lot of land without a paved road going in, then you are likely going to be responsible for removing that snow, and you may find it hard to get in and out of your property during winter. I know we rented an Airbnb up in Black Hawk, and it was not plowed. We did this in the winter. It was not plowed. We could not get up there. We could not get into the property. We had to call the owner and have them send their plow guy over. So the snow and plowing and taking care of the property is another thing to think about when buying land, especially up in the mountains. And while we are on the topic of buying a house in the mountains in Colorado, you also need to know that due to wildfires, your insurance is likely going to be higher, and it is a good idea to not have those trees so close to the house. So when you're looking at land, keep that in mind, because a lot of people will look and think, look at all these lovely trees, but it's better to have a clear spot around your house that's not trees, so that if there is a wildfire, your house doesn't catch on fire. So that is definitely another thing to consider. Utilities. So you think about electricity, gas, phone line, internet lines. You need to think about those too. So if you're going to buy a piece of land in the middle of nowhere that is not in a neighborhood, then you need to know if those utilities are easy to bring in to where you want to build. If there's no electricity or gas kind of around, then it's going to be much more expensive to get that to your property than if it is at the end of the property and you just need to bring it to your house. So you need to find out about utilities before you buy that land. And you kind of need to have an idea where your house might be situated so you know where to bring those utilities to get an idea of how much it is actually going to cost you. So as you can tell, buying land can be quite expensive if you have to add all of these things. So you want someone that can help you work out, is there sewer? Is there already a poop pit? Is there electricity to the property? Is there water connected to the property? I mean, that's another important one. If there is a stream or river or anything like that, do you have water rights? Because that is can be quite important here in Colorado as well. So those are all things that you need to think about. The last thing we are going to kind of talk about with buying land is who is going to build the house. Are you going to bring a manufactured type home on the property? Totally nothing wrong with that. Some of those prefab homes are gorgeous, but you need to know the ins and outs of getting those. And resale value is also something to think about with that. Or are you going to have a custom builder come in and build your property? And if you have the money to do that, that is fabulous. But it is, once again, going to be expensive to have a custom builder come in and build on the lot of land. And they are going to want to know about utilities and sewer connections and all of these things. So hopefully that has been helpful. I know it was kind of a quick rundown, but if you have any other questions, contact details are down below. You can text, email, call. If you call me, please leave me a voicemail. I'll get back to you. I don't always pick up because I have 100 calls a day from robots and things like that. But leave me a voicemail. I will call you back. I am here to help you with all of your moving to Colorado needs. And I hope you are having a fabulous day, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe again, guys. Like and subscribe.